There is a way to square the circle to bring about growth even under the current circumstances. Some of these are supply-side measures, but they are supply-side measures which simultaneously affect demand. And so what I want to do now is to highlight what I view as an outline of a holistic program. I can't describe very much of it, but at least let me describe 3 or 4 or 5 measures. The first is that some countries, like Germany, have fiscal room to maneuver. If they used it for investment, it would enhance long-term growth with positive spillovers to the rest of Europe. This is the basic point of externalities that I raised before. The second is that a long-recognized principle that any of you who studied standard economics would know is that a balanced expansion of taxes and spending stimulates the economy. And if the program is well designed, such as taxes at those at the top, spending on education, taxes to encourage investment, taxes to discourage excess financialization, then the increase in GDP and employment can be very large. This is called the balanced budget multiplier, and that multiplier can be significant. A 1% increase in taxes and expenditure can increase GDP by a multiple of that amount. Let me spend just a minute talking about some elements of that spending and taxing package. At the core are investments of the kind that many of you have been discussing here in Italy. Investments have the advantage that they stimulate growth today, and they stimulate growth over the long run. They crowd in private investment because when you have good public investment, they increase the return to private investment. In the United States, some very interesting research has been done about the recovery from the Great Depression. And it's increasingly clear that government investments in transportation and other areas in the Great Depression was one of the bases not only for the short-term recovery of the economy, but for the enormous growth that the U.S. enjoyed in the years after World War II. It created the foundations for the remarkable growth, which was very which was very inclusive, in which the bottom increased even more than the top. But every part of our society enjoyed. It was based on this very strong public investment. So the first is investment. The second is the American economy and the European economy are going through massive restructuring. There's a need for restructuring. Part of it is just very simple. The growth, we are a victim of our success. Growth in productivity in manufacturing is larger than the growth in demand, if you view this globally. And that means if productivity grows faster than demand, that means that employment will go down. There's a fight about where the jobs will be. Will they be in Asia? Will they be in Italy? Or will they be in Germany? But the total global employment in manufacturing will be going down. In fact, people talk about China stealing the jobs in manufacturing, but employment in manufacturing in China has been going down. And that's because of the enormous increase in productivity. But that means we have to spend money on investments in infrastructure, technology, and education to restructure our economy to adapt to this changing world. So some of this will be in, much of the restructuring will be in service sectors, education, health, sectors in which the government will necessarily play a very important role. So that this is going to be a vital part. And if we don't spend government money, if we contract, it will mean that the restructuring just won't occur, and we will be destined to have years and years of high unemployment. The third point is that policies, expenditures, can help address one of the major problems that all of our societies have been facing, and that is growing inequality. I know the data for the U.S. much more than I do for Europe. In the United States, inequality before the crisis reached levels that had not been seen in 75 years. The upper 1%, you've seen the slogan, the 1%, got between 20 and 25% of all income, 40% of all wealth. And we've now understood that much of this inequality is actually destructive of economic growth. It's what economists call rent-seeking. It's a result of monopoly powers. It's a result of a variety of sources of rent that destroy economic efficiency. So the new view is it's not a trade-off between inequality and growth. Policies that reduce inequality can promote economic growth. And we've been thinking ourselves in the wrong frame in this respect. I chaired a UN commission that looked at the causes of the crisis and the response to it. And one of our conclusions, this international commission, was that inequality was one of the causes of the crisis. Reducing inequality will have the effect of increasing demand, and increasing demand will strengthen the economy and increase employment, and it will be a virtuous circle that we can generate rather than the vicious circle that austerity is bringing about. The fourth point is, I hinted at before, is that taxes too can be an important role in redistribution policy and in encouraging the economy, to stimulate the economy. We can use tax structures to encourage investment in this country. We can use tax measures to encourage employment. We can use tax measures to discourage the excessive financialization. When you have an economy such as the United States, where 40% of all corporate profits were in the financial sector, something was wrong. The financial sector is absolutely essential to the well-working of an economy. But the financial sector is supposed to facilitate the rest of the economy. It's not supposed to prey on the rest of the economy. And when 40% of all the profits go to the financial sector, and there is no evidence of any enhanced growth as a result of that, but there is evidence of enhanced instability, there's something wrong. And tax measures can help redirect the economy in a more constructive way.